The fifth league division games of Arua City have kicked off, and they are down the other side. Meanwhile, today is a match day 4, a round of 16 in the mini zonos down in Koboko. That, of course, is for Nile zone. For Nyagaki zone is almost kicking, and these games will be down at Ochoko. And of course, nationally, internationally, there will be a clash of titans. FA finals, Manchester derby. Between Manchester United and Manchester City. You will be able to give us your predictions of the different social media handles that you could be following West Nile TV. Keep it locked, don't touch that remote, keep it on West Nile TV because we are here to light up the region now for you. And I am not alone in the house. We have a player, a coach player, I don't know, because he does not play for the team he coaches, but plays for a different team and coaches another different team in two different leagues. Don't get shocked or don't get confused. I think the guest will get to introduce himself and give us an overview. You're most welcome, Mr. Mawanda, and good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mawanda Godfrey, as she said, a player and also a coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe briefly, you give us the two specifications: a player at a club and a coach in which club?
Okay, a coach in Niva Football Club,
okay,
a 4th division club, okay. Then a player in regional league club called Kuluva Rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're most welcome into the studios of West Nile TV, and today, specifically, viewer, we shall be looking at Niva Football Club that plays in the 4th league division, and subsequently, that league has come to a close-up, and of course, giving in space for there is the mini zonos, Nile zone that are taking place in Koboko, then in-house there is within Arua City. It is the 5th league division games, but then the Nyagaki zone, mini zone are almost also kickstarting. We'll be compiling in all of that story and bringing it right here. All you have to do is keep it long. And back to Mr. Mawanda, coach, player in two different leagues, two different clubs. Tell us something briefly about Niva Football Club.
Okay, basically, Niva Football Club is a 4th division club. It started as Niva Select. Okay. It wasn't actually a registered club. Okay. So it started like 2011 as a select team where it it had a lot of players from different clubs that gather up. They used to play friendly games mostly, and then they play games with the registered clubs. Until when it reached 2023, okay. That's when we came up with a proposal of registering the team, okay. For FIFA League. Okay. So we registered the team for 5th division, which was 2023, and we managed to play the whole league unbeaten, okay. The whole 5th division. We merged the first, because there were two groups, we merged first. Arua Airfield also merged first in the other group. That's when we went for final, a classical final, which was at Greenlight. They won us. It was a 2-1. That's how we managed to qualify for 4th division. Okay. And that's where we are now.
Okay. Yeah. Entirely, that has been a brief background or a brief say or an overview about Niva Football Club. I would also like you, Coach Mawanda, for Niva Football Club to tell us, because you've told us how the team started, you've told us how it evolved, and the journey from the Niva Select to playing different competitions with different clubs, and then registering in for 5th league division, and then coming through, of course, to qualify from 5th league division to qualify to a 4th league division where you people are currently at. So would also like to know, maybe the viewer out there, maybe there is a Niva fan there, or there is a native of Niva community out there who would basically want to know, someone who has not been following in Niva Football Club in the recently concluded 4th league division games. Maybe this is the right time for you to enlighten them on the journey that Niva Football Club has had over the time in the 4th league division.
Okay, basically, we had our first game, like it was against Desta. Okay. Yeah, We had our first game against the Star. That's when we started our game. We were beaten 6-3. Actually, we had some issues of licenses, issues like that. So we played 9 players. They played 9 players. That's how we got the first result. Then we kept on building day by day, day by day. Actually, we got our first win after like 3 games, 4. Actually, 4 games. That's when we got our first win. It was against Mission Foundation, where we matched the winners that day. We beat them 3-0 away at their place. After that, we came and played the Mvara FC, the so-called Manya boys. That we drew 1-1. I remember they got a late goal when we were almost taking the 3 points. So after that, we lost the next game. Then we won like 2 more. That's how we managed to keep the team in the league. We finished actually with 12 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's how our journey has been.
Specifically handling players in that league, you talked about license issues here and there. We've seen quite a number of clubs being affected by license issues here and there. Just like how you said, you were being greatly affected by license issues, which actually saw you fielding in 9 players in one of the games that you played against Sadesa, where you swallowed a lot of goals in there. So basically, as time went by, probably following in from your words, we got to know that as time went by, you subsequently improved from swallowing in a lot of goals to maybe picking in wins and draws and all that, which was not the case at the start of the season. How were you able to handle all this?
Okay, basically in football, when you're a debutant, like it kind of becomes hard. So should I say the boys were not experienced and the boys are young? So actually the whole team it was one of the youngest team in the league. So they kept on building day by day, and basically using the training sessions that we had, like from Mondays to Friday. We kept on building the team. We made them understand that it's not all about, sometimes it's not all about experience or having a huge number of players. Even 10 players can win a game. 8 players can win a game. That's where they got the motivation from. We had to sit with the board, with the technical team and the fans. We had to draft in like immediate ideas that could help the team. That's how we managed to get the results.
Okay. Talking about getting results, going back to drawing board and all that, basically every club always has challenges in the different leagues maybe that they are taking part into. I am also quite sure that within the time that Niva Football Club participated in 4th League Division games, there were quite a number of challenges before we come into maybe the postings or maybe some of the lessons you learned or some of the key areas you thought were positives on your side together with Niva Football Club. Let us dive briefly into the challenges that you faced as a coach together with your club and the entire football team.
Okay, basically I'll start with the general problems. Like, why do I say general problems? Like, it's everywhere in Africa. Like, first of all, let me start with timekeeping, poor time management during training sessions. Like, you organize training sessions like from 4 p.m. to like 6:30, but you find that players come like 5 after 1 hour. Then another general problem will be like the number for training session and games. Some players have like issues, you know, a player that you do not like cater for, like in terms of basic needs, it kind of becomes difficult for you to manage such a player. So in most cases they come in small number. Even during match days you get that there are only like 10 players. And literally, if you're going for a game, you need to make a lineup like a squad of 18 players. So it becomes difficult. So like in Africa, we normally make lineups in the pitch, like 10 minutes towards the game. That's when you make the lineup. So other problems that I face as a coach, sometimes from fans, you know, mostly African fans, they know they only like winning. So in most cases, when the team wins, they applaud the players. But then if the team loses, they tend to blame the coach, which is not fine in football. So as a coach, I've been facing that. Then maybe secondly, like building morale in these players, it was kind of difficult to do that, but though we went through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Players, fans, and coaches, basically there is something huge that we need to understand in football, something that we need to be patient with, especially when the team is in its bad times and not producing results. I think that is something that we really need to handle. Probably it could be through a sensitization of the mass out there, sensitization of the community and all that. Basically, people need to understand that when it comes to football, there are basically there are three sides. When it comes to football, there are three sides. There is where you're either winning in, there is where you're beaten, and that is the loss, and then there is where you can pick a draw. But in most cases, just like you had said, people tend to want to associate with the winning bit of it. No one wants to associate with the bad side, where of course you're beaten and all that and all that. Basically, we should learn to appreciate the coaches, because I've seen this several times, whether with different clubs here and there. People blame coaches even for the slightest mistakes players do. It's as if it's the coach that is playing. It's as if let's take an issue where maybe the team is playing a very tough game and the goalkeeper is conceding in a lot of goals. You find the blame going all on the coach, as if it's the coach that is in the goalkeeping department and allowing in all those passes and goals and all that. So basically, I think we have to change that narrative. We have to, of course, change in the overview, general overview of football and how we are to apportion blames. If the team is winning, we should be with them. If the team is not winning, we should literally also be there and learn not to apportion blames. Instead, we should come through and find out where the problem is. We should come through and give out and find solutions to the problems and all that. So that is that. Now that the season is closed, you already told us the position you finished in. Do we still have players at camp? Are we still going to see these players next season? Are we organizing? Okay, what generally is there for Niva Football Club within this specific time of, I should say, the break?
Okay, thank you. As you said, we are drafting in like plans, which I had to discuss with my technical team. There are no players in camp currently. Okay. There are no players in camp. We had to release them. There is no business running in the team. Okay. They are still off until further notice. But being debutants, like, we had a lot of challenges which we learned from and we are aware of. So we had to draft in ways of overcoming such. And basically we have plans, like we are going to have to, I would not have told you this, but let me make it open. We are going to release some of the players. Okay. They are good, they are not bad, but we think they can try elsewhere. So we shall release them, we give them a chance to go and try elsewhere, and then we make add-ons. And believe me, this time the players we are bringing, they are good, so we are coming to fight. Okay. That's the strategy. Okay,
now that you've said that there are no players in camp, you've released all the players. I see a lot of teams doing, having friendlies, organizing friendlies with certain teams that probably could be better than them, so that I think they test in their depth also, they test in their strength and all that. Do we have plans of such, or for now it's yet the plans of handling players, releasing out some to create space for add-ons?
Okay, basically now we are not organizing friendlies like with bigger clubs or what, no. Currently we are handling the issue of players. Okay. Since transfer is approaching, we need to like make add-ons or remove some. So currently that's the business going on in the club.
Okay, but for the add-ons and releasing other players, that is for the current plan, I should say. What next for Niva Football Club after that? Because if you look at the position where they finished in, I would say they narrowly escaped being relegated to there is a 5th League division that currently is ongoing at Barifa. And now that they survived relegation, what next for Niva Football Club? What should we expect for next season from there is a Niva Football Club?
I would answer you just in 3 words. Like next season we are coming for Zono. That's the answer for that. Yeah.
Okay, I love that ambition, and I think it's a very huge one that literally needs now a lot of hard work. It needs a lot of commitment. It needs a lot of energy, resilience, and all that. That is quite a lot of work, because if you look at the teams that have been in 5th, that have registered in for 5th League division, you literally find out that these are teams that have a very clear background. These are teams that are very organized. These are teams that actually have very experienced and very good players, I would say, very versatile and all that. So basically from the teams that will cross over from 5th League to 4th League to join in, these basically will be new teams, but not so new. We know these teams, we know how they play, we know the players that they have, we know their strengths and all that. And then coupled with the team that is yet to go for zonos from a 4th League division side. I don't know if all the 4 teams will go. That is Airfield that finished champions, then Vara Boys, then Nyaya, Jaco, and Daystar, because that was what happened last season. We did see 4 teams go through for zonos. I don't know if that's how it's going to be for this season. We're yet to wait for official communication. And amongst all these 4 teams, we will also wait for the zonos to go through and wait and see which teams will reverse back and join the league. There is a 4th League, of course, after not qualifying in for regionals from the mini zonos. I am anticipating a very tough 4th League division come next season, because look at the teams that have remained. Look at the teams aside from those that will return from zonos and those that will be promoted from a 5th League division. I want us to have a square view over the current teams that are within a 4th League division games. What are you anticipating? Because now you've just said you're seeing Niva next season for zonos, meaning you guys plan on to have a very good run. You guys plan on to have a very competitive and good gameplay and all that. With the teams that are there in 4th League, let us leave aside these ones that have qualified and these ones that are yet to join from 5th League division games. What are we anticipating basing on the teams that currently are there in the full squad of 4th League division?
Okay, if you look at the teams that are currently there, as you said, you have removed those ones that have qualified. These ones that are there are, should I say, they're not a big threat to us.
They're manageable teams.
They're manageable. That's this one. Because if you look at the games we have been having with them, at least you could see the boys passing, the boys play real football. Okay. That's what we are known of. So the current teams that are left in the league, I don't think they'll give us much challenge, though we shall need to strategize on 1, 2, 3 issues to handle them. But believe me, next season we shall concentrate mostly on our home games. Then away games, we go and see what. Anything that happens there, we take it.
Okay, I'm not talking about the home games. This brings now another question about the home ground. Last season, we did see Niva Football Club hosting games at Salim Saleh playgrounds, home of there is home of Leo Football Club that, of course, withdrew from there is the competitions. What plans does Niva have for acquiring a home game? Because now it looks very weird getting a team that is based in Niva playing their games at Mvara side. For those of us that are natives of Arua City, you basically understand the point I am bringing in. Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams hosting in games very far. We did see Arua Hill Soccer Club based in Arua City hosting in the home grounds and in Germany, that is Paridi. We've equally also seen, we did see Calvary when they first went in for Big League during the first season. We did see them hosting in their games. Their side based in Nyumbe, but we did see them hosting in their games down at Greenlight Stadium, Mababet, Unduparaka, that is within Arua City. So what other plans? It's quite very normal in that Niva, that's situated in Niva, is hosting their home games in Vara. So do we have any plans for the home ground to see to it that this time around Niva plays the games within Niva community?
Okay, basically I've seen, let me say, signs. They are working on our pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, they're working on our pitch. So by the start of next season, I'm sure it will be some. So you talked about Salim Saleh. Yeah, we got a bigger challenge, like playing. Though we used to host our games there, it was like home away from home, but that wasn't an issue. That wasn't the issue, because we were playing our home games there, but you could feel like you're in a neutral ground. Anyone could come and just beat you. You know, when you're in your native home, like your native pitch,
Where you do trainings from.
where you do train from, where you do everything from, there is that vibe that players get.
Okay.
They'll come with the belief that such a team cannot beat us from here. So that's one of the challenges we faced last season. Even among the issues I raised to the management was like, these boys need to play from their home. So based on what is on ground, they're working on the pitch. If I'm not mistaken, by the beginning of next season, our pre-season, we shall start playing from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall be crossing over for a very short commercial break. When we return, this time around, it will be something off from there is Niva Football Club. It will be something now based on this time we are from doing a coach bit of it, and we shall of course be crossing over to there is the player version, and looking at how you're able to manage coaching and playing in the two different clubs and the two different leagues. Viewer, don't touch that remote. We are going off for a very short commercial break. Keep it locked to West Night TV. When we return, we shall return in the house, both of us. Thank you.